We begin with our Greg Glover, closely following the presidential race. It has yet to be called, may not be called anytime soon. Greg?
With some help from Dr. Chris Acuff, Assistant Professor of Political Science at UTC. He's been with us all day dissecting these races. We've been watching returns through the night and also the internet. On social media, after a flurry of activity over the last week, both presidential campaigns have gone relatively quiet. The Joe Biden account has been congratulating Democrat winners. Around 8 p.m., the admonition to voters to, quote, "stay in line, folks," unquote. Around 6 o'clock, the last word from the president on Twitter. He tweeted, quote, "We are looking really good all over the country. Thank you," in all caps there. Dr. Acuff, you called it early on, and I guess we've all been feeling it. Chances are we'll go to bed tonight not knowing who's going to be inaugurated on noon, January 20th. Any surprises in this presidential race so far tonight?
Well, it probably certainly depends on who you ask. I think in a lot of these races, we knew they're going to be close. You know, if you ask most people, some of the networks and different outlets are calling them based on different numbers and different projections. So for instance, Florida, we knew was probably going to go to Donald Trump or maybe be a little bit close. North Carolina is very close. Pennsylvania and some of these other states, we're probably going to have to wait a while to see how they shake out.
We're going to wait a while for counts, maybe some recounts. Lawyers will get involved. Tell us about counts, recounts, and provisional ballots. What goes on with all that?
So most states have some type of recount mechanism, either a losing candidate or you know, an automatic trigger if it's within a certain percentage point. North Carolina, for instance, is very close. I think it's about a 1-point race right now. If it dips below half a percentage, then that triggers an automatic recount.
20 years ago, we'd be talking about dimpled chads, hanging chads. If you're not old enough to remember that, it's worth a search on the internet to see those pictures of the vote counters in Florida holding those ballots up to the light to try to make it some kind of determination. Thankfully, with all this computerized stuff, that's not going to be what we're hinging on this year, right?
Well, we could see that potentially with some of the mail-in ballots, you know. So in Pennsylvania and some of these other states where you know you have to have it in an inside envelope with a signature and all these things. So if it comes down to a few votes, you're certainly almost going to see these challenged.
So Pennsylvania among the states we should be paying attention to as we go through tomorrow and the week ahead and perhaps a couple of weeks later?
Yeah, a lot of those Midwestern states that were sort of a surprise for Democrats in 2016, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, et cetera. If those go to the president, I would say that Joe Biden probably has a pretty narrow path. But again, those are the ones where there's going to be a lot of recount or a lot of you know, late ballots coming in terms of mail-ins. So it may take a couple days for us to actually reach a number on those.
Historic time. Dr. Acuff, thank you for spending it with us today and lending us your expertise. He says he's canceled class tomorrow. Good for you. I hope your students have been paying attention. We will continue to carry you through the next chapter or chapters of the race for the White House overnight into the morning and through the week until a winner emerges. In the studio, Greg Glover, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.